During the Industrial Revolution 4.0, the traditional thinking of personnel management has changed. Businesses have realized the importance of personnel issues and started to invest a large amount of capital in human resource instead of considering it a cost to be minimized as before. However, recruiting talents and building a system to train, develop, and retain them has been a tough task amidst a fierce competition and the thirst for talents from businesses. We will now delve into this issue with our special guest here on Talk Vietnam. But first, let's find out who he is.
I'm Dr. Alok Bharadwaj, a former Senior Vice President at Canon Singapore and Head of Canon Asia Strategy Center. There, I had great opportunity to grow and transform business in 23 Asian countries. I also worked as Head of Canon Asia Learning and Development Division that assisted 6,500 Canon staff members in their quest for learning and getting better at workplace. In my 32 years of corporate career, I have worked in several Fortune 500 companies such as Tata Group, Motorola, and Canon. I can definitely say that in all those years of leadership experience, I encountered numerous challenges and solved several high-stake business problems. However, there is absolutely nothing more complex than people and HR-related challenges. Solving these actually turn people into real high-performing talent and organizations into real high-performing enterprises.
So thank you, Dr. Bharadwaj, for coming to our studio today. How
Hello.
are you?
I'm quite well, thank you, and I'm delighted to be here.
Sure. Our first question is talking about modern HR. How has HR been changing its role and transforming worldwide?
You see, when you look at HR, you notice during the last 100 years, the purpose of HR has been transforming. According to me, there have been 4 eras of HR. The first era, which was many years ago, that is the time when the world was basically in the industrial era 1.0. And that's the time when the biggest concern was payroll, was labor relations, administration, but things transformed and we came to era 2.0. This is the era when the focus of HR became recruitment and training. And then we entered into era 3.0. And this era of HR changed the HR function quite drastically. It made HR begin to focus on performance management. But today, we live in talent 4.0 era. This is an interesting era. This is the era where we are redefining HR purpose and calling it as basically building talent.
So that's how HR evolved into the modern day concept. So talking about modern HR, what are its elements?
So now, if you now decode what is happening in so-called talent era 4.0, you will notice that a very important part that we require now is a journey of employee throughout several elements within the organization that helps attracting talent, developing talent, retaining talent, and making them perform. According to me, the journey begins from the stage of assessing talent needs. Organizations now need to be very clear about what kind of talent are they looking for. And this planning has to be done much in advance. You don't just start looking for talent when you have a vacancy. You plan it far ahead. The second element in the modern HR system is what is called acquiring talent. Now we have to acquire talent. Now this acquisition of talent will not happen unless we are able to attract talent and unless we are able to identify the right profile of talent. The third element in modern HR is what is called aligning talent. Now that the talent has been selected and talent joins the company, we got to align the talent with the goals, the KPI, the cultural alignment, There are several areas of alignment to make the talent really performing talent. So you got to align. The fourth element in the modern HR is the element of learning and development. We got to train talent. The fifth element in modern HR is where we are now engaging talent. When we are engaging with talent, we are getting the work out of talent. That's how good companies, or what are called now the Talent 4.0 companies, are able to really make a very powerful system within the company where talent is highly energized, very actively involved in the purpose of an organization.
Chúng tôi thường xuyên gặp những vấn đề về việc là những nhân sự tốt có thể sang một công ty nước ngoài làm ở Việt Nam thôi với mức lương có thể cao hơn gấp đôi rồi, để cạnh tranh việc lương và giữ chân nhân sự rất là khó khăn, và phát triển nhân tài, đào tạo họ trong hệ thống như thế nào để họ có thể đáp ứng được các cái quy mô, các cái yêu cầu trong công việc của công ty.
Thứ nhất là về chất lượng nhân sự, thứ hai nữa là về cái đầu vào nhân sự đang chưa, cái phần thương hiệu tuyển dụng nó chưa có mạnh để tuyển dụng được những cái nhân sự phù hợp vào làm cùng. Và thứ ba nữa là với cái đội ngũ nhân sự hiện tại thì mọi người đang chưa có một cái văn hóa chung để cùng nhau hướng về mục tiêu chung để làm việc, cho nên là cái hiệu suất lao động nó cũng chưa được như là cái mong muốn của mình.
Vì chú trọng cho cái việc sản xuất chuyên môn, do đó thì chúng tôi không chú trọng về việc là đầu tư vào vấn đề con người, đào tạo, thì dẫn đến khi mà quy mô càng có tăng thì cái việc là mất kiểm soát về hệ thống quy trình, kiểm soát về cái yếu tố về con người, thì khi có những cái đòi hỏi từ phía khách hàng, những khách hàng tiềm năng, những cái sản phẩm nó mang tính chất gọi là chất lượng cao và tính ổn định cao, thì cái việc đáp ứng và thỏa mãn của chúng tôi nó trở nên là khó hơn bao giờ hết.
So based on the elements that you have just mentioned, what strategies should Vietnamese businesses adopt?
The whole story of attracting, building, developing, retaining, and progressing talent actually begins with talent mindset. You see, there are four kinds of companies that exist in the world. But the first kind of companies that exist in the world have very high customer-centric mindset. Yes. You can see Apple, Disney. These are good examples of customer centricity. It's a good mindset to have. There are second kinds of companies which are very, very highly strategy driven, new business model driven. Look at what is happening to Grab. Look at what happened to Airbnb. Various new business models that companies have begun to launch have built those companies. They're very much centric on so-called new strategies or new business models. But then you've got third kind of companies, and these companies are very operational driven. They build very strong competency and capabilities and actually competitive advantage based on the process and operations. And therefore they create their cost of production low. They are the ones who are very fast in terms of their customer response. They have processes. McDonald's is a very good example. Very set process. In fact, they even measure from the time of your order when you are getting the burger and exactly how many minutes did it take. They are very strong process-driven companies. But there are fourth kind of companies, where not many in the world, which are highly talent-driven companies. These companies are called talent mindset. The story begins with the mindset. When you have a mindset for talent, you begin to see everything else as an outcome and not basically an enabler. In other words, when you say that you want to make your company highly customer focused, it is an outcome because of good people that you have. So basic core competitive advantage is shifting to talent. That's the reason why McKinsey actually had done a study 20 years ago and called it as a war for talent. They said in this world now, actually companies are competing with companies, not on the product, not for the customers, for the talent.
To have a realistic view about the current situation of Vietnamese small and medium enterprises in terms of HR, Dr. Alok Paradash spent time visiting many companies.
How long you are working in the company?
6 years.
6 years.
This company really impressed him, as it has a strong recruitment system.
So I'm very impressed with this recipe of your.
Mình lựa chọn những người mà mình thấy là có khả năng và có sự tin tưởng mình đối với họ, và khi mà mình sẽ đặt họ vào những vị trí phù hợp, mình thấy là phù hợp, sau đấy mình sẽ cho họ có những cái hướng dẫn cho họ để họ làm việc trong một thời gian nhất định nào đấy, và sau đó mình sẽ giao quyền cho họ, họ sẽ tự quyết định.
The mindset for talent in keeping and building talent as the main driver for success of a company is the first most critical success factor for companies like this.
They have very strong employee value proposition. Everybody knows why they're working here, and everybody is finding that as their core reason of continuing in this company. Without this, we cannot build HR system. So this is one very important thing that I noticed. I also noticed in this company, the belief was not to do helicopter landing. They were not wanting to bring people from outside at different positions. They were trying to build talent internally. This is a very strong practice in successful companies, what I call talent powerhouses.
Now we'll go back a little bit into the global trends of human resource management. As an industry insider who has been watching the market for years, so what are the notable trends of human resource management in the world so far?
Now organizations are realizing that the purpose of HR, which I explained in the beginning in creating talent in the organization, has even a bigger purpose. And the purpose is business results. I in fact advise many of the company leaders here saying that if you are talking about your talent strategy, don't start from your problems. You start from your goal, from your vision. What's your vision 3 years from now? Tell me about your core values of the company. Tell me about your goal of next year.
Yes.
And now you tell me what are the new capabilities you require for that goal. Mm-hmm. Some companies tell me that they are changing their business model, they are getting more digital, they are going to enter into e-commerce, or they are going to use more social media for their marketing. Figure out what are the new capabilities you need in your organization. Now you are ready to build your talent strategy. Now you know exactly what are your critical roles. You know exactly what are the capabilities you got to build in. You even know whether those capabilities requirement are average or very high level. Mm-hmm. Let me give you an interesting example. So I was talking in a dinner meeting with business leaders here in Hanoi. I asked them, I said, how is the human resource working? None of them give me data. People don't know that HR needs to be measured, whether it is your rate of recruitment, rate of people leaving, why leaving, competency level improvement in people. Even globally, many companies are struggling. But this is a theme. This is the new thought doing rounds in HR. How do we measure HR? Most of the people want to continue to work or are retained because of what is called 6 senses. The first sense is called the sense of recognition. This is the appreciation every single individual needs. If the manager or a leader is not able to provide appreciation of good work whenever it is done, that sense is lost. The second is called actually the sense of respect. Many times in organizations I notice people feel that they are not respected. These 2 senses are the basic senses of engagement. Thereafter comes the third sense, and this is called the third sense of meaning, purpose, what work they are doing. The fourth sense is called the sense of impact. I want to do a work which is creating bigger impact, so the importance. The fifth sense is a sense of progress or growth. And the last sense is called the sense of achievement. Engagement is nothing but satisfaction plus motivation. And therefore, if you are able to satisfy people and motivate people, your engagement becomes very strong. And when we do this way, this is the best recipe for retaining people. If all your people are having good engagement with their people within the company, you will find your retention becoming 2 or 3 times more.
At the conference today, Dr. Alok Bharadwaj shared experience on how to build a modern HR recruitment system. To recruit the right people, first, the company needs to identify what it needs from employees.
So there are 3 things that you need as people. I call them 3P. If you have 3P, that is what you see in every people. The first thing you see is a personality. Personality is important because without personality, you will not have a connection and the fitment will not happen. Fitment with the job and fitment with the company. Second important thing you need in people is performance. We need to check how they perform. And the third important thing we need in people is a potential.
With experience in interviewing thousands of candidates in his leadership career, Dr. Alok Bharadwaj has his own way to understand those candidates.
Cái chi tiết mà tôi cảm thấy thú vị đó là cái phần mà khi mà phỏng vấn cho nhân sự ứng viên ấy, thì mình cần phải tìm hiểu những cái phần về tính cách, những cái động lực, những cái mối quan tâm của họ, những cái giá trị và những cái niềm tin của họ, đó là cái phần chìm của tảng băng. Và những cái thứ mà thường là các nhà tuyển dụng hay phỏng vấn thì họ quan tâm về những cái thứ kinh nghiệm, những cái thứ mà người ta nhìn thấy bề nổi bên ngoài thôi, nhưng cần phải đặt những cái câu hỏi mở để mình có thể tìm hiểu được cái tầng sâu bên trong, bởi vì đó là những cái thứ mà sẽ quyết định là cái việc nhân sự có phù hợp với doanh nghiệp hay không.
After successfully recruiting the right talents, every organization pays attention to how to develop and retain them. Dr. Alok Bharadwaj came up with the best recipe to do this.
Một trong cái điều mà tôi thấy rất là thú vị là tiến sĩ Alok đã đưa ra là có 5 cái nguyên nhân để cho nhân tài hoặc là nhân sự đến với công ty hoặc rời công ty. Thì đấy là tôi đều rất thích. Ví dụ đầu tiên là phải có một cái thương hiệu, cái niềm tự hào thương hiệu của doanh nghiệp. Cái thứ hai là cái cơ hội học tập, cái sự nghiệp của họ ở trong công ty. Và thứ ba là cái nhân sự đấy, cái nhân tài đấy họ phải tìm được những cái vai trò của họ, ý nghĩa của họ trong công việc. Thứ tư là có cái văn hóa của doanh nghiệp. Và cái yếu tố thứ 5 thường là cái yếu tố cuối cùng. Nhưng mà ở Việt Nam mình thường là mọi người nghĩ ra đầu tiên đấy là vấn đề là cái thù lao, cái liên quan đến cái thu nhập.
As we have discussed, attraction and recruitment are the first big HR issues in many Vietnamese enterprises. So what are some ways of solving it?
If you want to attract talent, not just pick up and do shopping. Attract talent will not join you unless talent is very clear what are the great things in your company. So first thing that I recommend to all companies is to create a job page or a career page website where they would be showcasing great examples of what their people are doing, how people are having fun in this company, yes. How they are enjoying. And it is talking about the employee value proposition very smartly. It is showing examples of people and their career growth. The second thing that they must do in attracting talent is to do some bit of employer brand. If you spend nothing, how would people know about your brand? Mm-hmm. Particularly for a small and medium company. Build brand. Spend 1%, 2% at least on your employee brand. This is one area that I would recommend to do attraction. Large companies around the world, global companies, do enormous employer branding. Mm-hmm. The second step that you require is the step of identifying the right profile that you need. Mm-hmm. Don't say, I need 7 years experience, I need knowledge of retail selling, and I need somebody who is a very strong salesperson, for example, who has achieved 100% in the last 1 year or 2 years. These are EKS. Also explain what the iceberg do you need, what values do you need in people, what kind of mindset do you need in people, what kind of behaviors your company appreciates.
So could you share some fascinating stories behind how big corporations in the world deal with the recruitment process?
One of the things that I notice that good companies do in their recruitment of people is to create an inventory of 12 golden questions. 1, experience. 2, knowledge. 3, skills. 4th is positive mindset. 5th is persistence mindset. That means a person does not give up and is more resilient. Even if he or she fails, they continue to work again and again on it. So they're very persistent. Next, progressive mindset, which is a growth mindset. That means a person is agile. They want to learn and they want to say that we will grow in our skills by learning new things. And next, perfection or excellence mindset, which means that I do some work, but I believe on excellence, so I'll improve my work. And then they ask 4 important questions, 1 on value, 1 on interest, 1 on personality, 1 on drive, and that inventory becomes 12. And the last question in that inventory, why would somebody like to join you?
So suppose that the recruitment is over and we have picked up the right candidates for your company. So we comes to the post-recruitment process. So one of the elements that you mentioned before is to align people. So how should businesses align talents for the optimization of people?
Just think about what people want. I have joined your company. What do I want? I want a clarity of what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to do? Which means what am I supposed to do and how I am supposed to do. Because sometimes, even if I have done the job, you will still find faults. Because the way I did, you didn't like. Company doesn't like. Tell me. Tell me what am I supposed to do? How well am I supposed to do? Tell me how am I doing? What I need to improve? Tell me, am I improving? And tell me, how will I be rewarded if I'm doing a good job? These are what I call them 6 unasked questions. The newcomer will never ask. You answer them. This is alignment. And therefore, when people join, they must be told exactly what are the goals, what are the KPI, how they are supposed to perform, what is the behavior, particular behavior and conduct that we expect from people. When we do this, we are aligning them a lot better.
The strategy to attract, recruit, train and retain talents is the topic of a 2-day workshop held by HBR Business School in the middle of May 2019 in Hanoi. Participants of this specialized course are owners of small and medium-sized enterprises with a scale of dozens to 500 employees. Hua had just had a startup and is now running 2 real estate firms and 1 4-star hotel in Nha Trang. She wants to find the key to HR problems that the company are facing.
Không biết xây dựng một cái lộ trình công việc cho nhân sự của mình như thế nào. Đấy là cái vấn đề đầu tiên. Vấn đề thứ hai đó là làm thế nào để có thể tuyển dụng được người giỏi hoặc là người có tâm làm việc với mình. Rồi vấn đề thứ ba là khi đã tuyển dụng được rồi thì làm thế nào để mình có thể đào tạo này, có thể đánh giá cái kết quả công việc và làm thế nào để tăng cái hiệu suất của cái nhân sự đó.
With the profound knowledge and practical experience after 32 years of leading multi-billion-dollar corporations, Dr. Alok Bharadwaj helped this startup director realize some interesting facts about what employees look for in his company.
Trước đây thì tôi có một cái sai lầm là luôn hướng cái doanh nghiệp của mình đấy là việc là mình sẽ trả lương cao để mình thu hút nhân tài. Nhưng tuy nhiên ngài Alok giúp cho tôi hiểu rõ việc đó là cần phải thay đổi điều đấy. Bạn nên tập trung vào 2 cái điểm cốt lõi. Đấy là việc là cái mình tạo cho những người nhân viên ấy, họ hiểu rõ được cái ý nghĩa, cái công việc của họ, cái vai trò công việc của họ trong cái việc mà cùng với cả doanh nghiệp đạt được những cái mục tiêu sứ mệnh và làm cho cuộc sống của mọi người trở nên tốt đẹp hơn. Và cái thứ hai nữa đó là cái việc mà họ ở trong cái môi trường này, ở môi trường công ty của mình, họ rõ ràng về cái sự nghiệp, cái sự lộ trình thăng tiến phát triển của họ đồng hành cùng cả doanh nghiệp. Họ được học hỏi, được phát triển, được đào tạo ở đây.
With a scale of 12 companies of 7 different fields and 500 employees, it is highly important for this businessman to pay attention to interviewing for the right people.
Một cái bài tập mà tôi rất là ấn tượng đó là chúng ta làm sao khơi gợi những cái câu chuyện quá khứ trải nghiệm của nhân sự để cho giúp chúng ta thông qua những cái câu chuyện đó chúng ta đặt những cái câu hỏi và chúng ta đánh giá một phần nào đó để hiểu sâu hơn về cái khả năng của nhân sự. Khi mà họ gặp một cái thách thức, một vấn đề thì họ phản ứng như thế nào, thông qua đó mình cũng biết được một phần về cái sâu hơn về cái cảm xúc cũng như là cái mong muốn của họ. Thì từ đó là cũng có thể là biết được cái định hướng hành vi của họ trong tương lai.
Lessons from the workshop became the knowledge that business leaders can apply to their own companies.
Cái bài học mà mình nhớ nhất đấy là ai cũng cần sự công bằng. Thì thường ví dụ như là một số những cái vấn đề liên quan đến những cái mức lương hay bảng lương ở bên tổ chức của Z-Shop hiện tại thì vẫn đang là để ở những chế độ là chưa công khai. Nhưng mà sau cái bài học hôm nay thì mình sẽ về để chế độ công khai và nó gần như là một cái rất là rõ ràng là làm, tức là những cái mức lương đấy các bạn hoàn toàn được công khai và được định hướng rõ ràng là nếu mà bạn làm được như thế này thì bạn sẽ được hưởng mức lương hoàn toàn xứng đáng là như thế này để có một cái định hướng cho người lao động.
So once a new recruit is familiarized with the working environment, how important is HR training and development, and what is the best way to train people and improve their skills?
Many times companies make mistakes on this training. A very good logical question to business leaders. First of all, what's your training budget? Yes. And I ask this question same way like marketing. If you have 8% of your marketing budget, I understand that you're nurturing your brand extremely well. If you have less training budget, that means I understand that we are not able to build capabilities of our people. Without training or without learning and development, we will not be able to develop people. So first of all, what is the training budget? How much of the training do we need? What is the average training that we do? Measurement, HR measurement. Most of people don't even measure. But good practices, companies which measure, tell me we have 40 hours of learning or training of our people per year, or 5 days of training per year. Fine. This is also good average. Usually global average is not more than 5 or 6 days per year. But in Vietnam there are companies which do no training at all. Nothing. Some companies do training which is on only domain skills. Issue is domain skill training is important, but more important skills are the other skills which are management skills, people skills, collaboration skills, team building skills, leadership skills. So this is the other part. The last part is that now the world has moved away from training. Training used to be one way, what I give you. Now the world talks about learning and development. That's why we call it now L&D. The difference between previous generation training and the new generation learning and development is here the focus was what I'm feeding you. Here the focus is what you are learning. And therefore, what you're learning, more importantly, what you're applying. So now the L&D is shifting into what you're applying. I'm not interested in giving you training. I'm interested in how you're applying your learning. So how are people doing now? Good companies? Coaching. All managers are required to spend at least 10 hours in a month coaching their different team members. Feedback. Number 3, you provide them action learning projects, which means the best learning happens when I make you a part of another team and this team has a project to do. You enjoy the project first of all. Secondly, you learn from others. Therefore, a good concept that now I very strongly recommend, extremely strongly I recommend, is P2P. P2P stands for peer-to-peer. Peer-to-peer, that means people learn from colleagues. This is called social learning. This is the best way of learning.
appraising and evaluating people is also the important to-do task for organizations. And could you elaborate more on that, and how should it be carried out?
The word appraising people is actually a wrong word. And this basically means that I'm judging people. That's why the right word actually that HR is now using is called performance management system. So it says, how do we enhance performance of people? Objective is enhancing performance of people, not evaluating people. Now, in that process of managing performance, you end up evaluating. But the major task and major essence and objective is performance management. Leader has to first believe in this philosophy that my people must win. A leader wins when his people win. A leader does not win if people fail. And therefore, the performance management system works effectively if we can have our people winning. How do we do? Yes. So the first most important task here is absolutely clearly the goals are known to everybody. Secondly, please move away from annual system of appraisal. This annual appraisal system is very common worldwide. Even today, maximum number of companies do once in a year. I give you a goal in January, and I will meet you in December and discuss with you how you performed against this goal, and I will give you a rating, 3 out of 5, 4 out of 5, etc. This is old era, and therefore we must change. In fact, most of the companies, including Accenture, Deloitte, Adobe, all the good global companies have completely given this away. Please stop doing the annual appraisal. Instead, do a monthly discussion where leader is discussing with their staff about what they did, how they did, and asking them how would they like to improve, what is it that they need help, where do you want to learn, do you need some learning somewhere, how can I help you, what new things are you going to adopt now going forward. So some of those things becomes a new way of performance management system.
We have talked about the HR strategies, but could you share more about the first steps into a smart HR strategy?
The first thing that we do is what is called hardware, and the second thing that I'm going to tell is what is called software. The hardware part is use of technology. You must consider and realize that you are living in Industry 4.0. Deploy technology as much as you can. I advise leaders for all aspects of business, including customer management, including operations management, and definitely for talent management. Technology will create transparency. Technology will create more trust with people, and technology will create more data which can be used for decisions. You need data for decisions, not only just for filing. So smart HR strategy means that you are using data, you're using trends, and you're using technology for faster decision, real-time decision, and making sure things are transparent. So this is one important element of making this whole thing work smartly. The second, this is software. This is what smart companies do. They consider their talent in their people. They look at them from 3 lenses. They look at them from performance, they look at them from potential and they look at them from values. That means how is the alignment with their culture. And I often say that your talent resides in 4 rooms. This room is low performance and low potential. This room is low performance but high potential. This room is high performance but low potential, and this room is high performance, high potential. All your talent must be broken into these 4 rooms. You have to differentiate on your employees. You cannot treat everybody same. Which is the best room? The hyper room. The high performance, high potential room. Which is the smallest room? The hyper room is the smallest. This is unfortunate reality. Which is the biggest room for most companies? The low performance, low potential. Now, how you handle these 4 rooms is your leadership action agenda, and based on your strategic reasons of what you want to do, but you must first break them into these 4. When you go to room number 2, which is my favorite room, which is the hyper, normally 15% of your staff are living in that room, not many. Most companies, even global companies, not more than 15-16% people are in that room. So hyper, hypo, hyva are the people that is your personal responsibility as a leader. If one of them leaves, you must resign. You are a leader, you take ownership. None of them should leave. This is where your leadership skill comes in.
In the era of Industry 4.0, what constitutes a talent, and is it different from the traditional, the modern concept of talents, different from the traditional concept?
Industry 4.0 definitely has brought in new opportunities like this, which are changing very fast. It's almost like the winds are turning all the time. So to chart this course now, the leaders need their people and talent to be very much vigilant about this change that is happening, and they need to make the organization more agile, which can change as things change, adopt new things. This also means that leader cannot take all decision anymore. That time is gone. And if a leader is doing, about 50% of the decisions of that leader are wrong. Time will tell that leader. 50% of the decisions are wrong. And if a leader wants to reduce the error in the decision, it is important that leader involves people more and truly listens. So that's one implication. The second implication of Industry 4.0 is that it happens during the time when we have Generation Y and Generation Z people, the new millennials. These Gen Y and Gen Z people have a very different characteristics. They are different species. They are almost like aliens. What do? Number one, they want variety. They want choices. Gone is a time of loyalty. They would leave. Therefore, it is becoming increasingly difficult to make them stick. We have to be very close to them to understand what is it that they need, or what is it that they don't need or they don't want to experience. So this is one big implication, and therefore we are seeing more iteration, and that's the reason why I am talking about those 8 elements that we require in the modern HR, keeping the Gen Y and Gen Z into mind, because they need variety in choices. The second thing, these people are very fond of technology, which means on anything that we do, if we can involve them through the smartphone, fantastic. In this time of Industry 4.0, make sure that your Gen Z and Gen Y feel involved and use technology as much as possible. And the third thing that this generation needs, they love to work more in team, not individual. the older generation are the people who used to be very competitive, that I must win the race against my colleague, etc. So create culture more and more where collaboration and teamwork happens. If we change with time and we build those cultures and make that as our employee value proposition, you will have a stronger chance of attracting right talent. I would never say better talent, right talent, suitable to you and your company, and you will be able to then enjoy as the business grows.
So once again, thank you, Dr. Bharadwaj, for joining our program and sharing your fascinating stories behind HR management and your insights into the modern HR approach. We do hope you embark on a new journey with success in the future and keep inspiring other HR leaders.
It has been a great pleasure for me. Thank you so much.
And that also wraps up this edition of Talk Vietnam. We hope you enjoy the program and the stories that have been shared and cultivated some knowledge for yourself, especially the HR managers, on how to recruit, engage, and retain people. And we will see you next time here on Talk Vietnam. Until then, goodbye.